this, that you can divide up the population in the context of tyranny, mandates, that sort of thing, into three groups. The first group basically believe everything the government tells them. The CDC, World Health Organization, Anthony Fauci, Facebook, they just take it, don't question it at all. And let's say that that's 20%, could be more, could be less, but let us say about 20% of the population. And then there's another 20% or so of the population who question everything. You and I probably fall into that category. We are very cynical when the president comes out, and whatever party that president belongs to comes out with a declaration. We are very skeptical. We're more likely to disbelieve it until we have, until it's proven true, until there's some reason to actually believe it. And then the rest of the population, which would be about 60%, could be less, could be more. They're kind of in between. They haven't really thought to question too much. They don't put things in the context of, hey, does the government have the right to do this to us? They just kind of go along to get along. Now, again, I think it's pretty cool that others are talking about the same idea, but the important thing about it is how it can be useful. So what do you do with when you encounter people in those groups? Say that first group of the COVID mania believers. They're true believers. They'll just take, if they're told to wear 2 masks, they'll wear 3 masks by themselves in the shower. They'll, if they're told they got to get 2 jabs, they'll get 5. They just jump in all the way. Well, those people, give up on them in the sense of trying to convince them, in the sense of trying to argue with them. Don't bother. Don't waste your time. Now, I'm not saying you have to write them off totally if you have friends or family members who fall into this category. But, talk about Star Wars. Talk about the newest Spider-Man movie or your favorite flavor of tea or ice cream. But don't talk about whether or not masks are effective, that sort of thing, because it's just not going to go anywhere. Don't waste your time. Don't waste theirs. The folks in the skeptical group, those who are not buying this and are really giving the pushback against mandates, encourage them. Let them know they are not alone. And that's why it's important to show up, whether it's in social media, whether it's in person, whether it's in those conversations, those rallies, protesting at your local town council or whatever it is. Show up and let other people know they are not alone. And again, I'm saying don't waste your time arguing with the people who are just avid believers, but do show up and make your voice heard in other ways. And that's also true for that last remaining group, those who might be convinced, and more lately are starting to be convinced, are starting to say, this stuff just doesn't make sense anymore. There's too many discrepancies. There's too many contradictions, and I don't see people just dying around me. So those folks, we need to encourage them, and I need to remind myself this, not to ostracize them, not to antagonize them, not to get my anger out on them because I'm frustrated. They're not understanding fast enough, or they're not coming over to the conclusions I think they should be fast enough. Patience. Need to have patience, compassion with them, but also encourage them. And maybe those are the areas, those are the ones we can put our most effort and focus on. How do we do that? I want to know. I want to hear your comments. I want to know your strategies. What are the best ways to support, to influence, and encourage people to keep questioning? So thanks again. I really